we hope to see him in Sacramento ground on Easter Sunday. Everybody's going to be there, and all I can say is that I hope he's there. And it's 300 miles. We walked, and at least we could have a little, people, Governor Brown will be there and wait for us. I don't know, but it's not confirmed yet about Los Angeles or anything about this yet.
There was a report that the governor had changed his plans and might come up and meet with you here. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that's the last report we had. The last report that they planned to meet us in Easter Sunday as we planned it before. I guess now that Shanley, you saw the light of Shanley. Now he's going to have to be there now. That's all I can confirm about this. I'm not very actually sure about he's going to be in Los Angeles, but I know I heard the last report. I heard that he's going to be on Easter Sunday in Sacramento.
¡Viva Chávez! ¡Viva Chávez! ¡Viva!
The people in this court and the people in the legislature have not been acting like human beings. They put trumped-up charges of conspiracy and felonies on everyone who went in to exercise a constitutional right and said they had no right to bear arms in a public place. The California Penal Code section 12020 through 12027 and also the Second Amendment of the Constitution guarantees the citizen a right to bear arms on public property. And the legislature, I talked to Morford last night, and he said the legislature has made certain rules that are superior to the United States Constitution and also superior to the statutory law of California, and that is that they made a rule that no one could walk on their property with a weapon. I'm saying this is a bold contradiction, and also Morford is alive.
Ain't no sawed off, that's a ride shotgun just like yours. Exactly like yours. Why is yours?
And the big stick. Black people have begged, prayed, petitioned for it. And what are you doing removing people's property without due process of law?
If I'm under arrest, I'll come. If I'm not, don't put your hands on me.
Is this the way the racist government works? Don't let a man exercise his constitutional rights?
If my sweater's ripped, you will get...
I'd like to make a statement now with this respect. Statement of the Black Panther Party for self-defense on the Mulford Act now pending before the California legislature. The Black Panther Party for self-defense calls upon the American people in general and the black people in particular to take full note of the racist California legislature, which is now considering legislation aimed at keeping the black people disarmed and powerless at the very same time that racist police agencies throughout the country are intensifying the terror, brutality, murder, and repression of black people. At the same time that the American government is waging a racist war of genocide in Vietnam, the concentration camps in which Japanese Americans were interned during World War II are being re-innovated and expanded. Since America has historically reserved the most barbaric treatment for non-white people, we are forced to conclude that these concentration camps are being prepared for black people who are determined to gain their freedom by any means necessary. The enslavement of black people from the very beginning of this country, the genocide practiced on the American Indians, and the confining of the survivors on reservations, the savage lynching of thousands of black men and women, the dropping of atomic bombs on the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and now the cowardly massacre in Vietnam. All the power structure of America has policy, repression, genocide.
Well, I think it's a ridiculous way to try and solve the problems that have to be solved among people of goodwill, and there's certainly nothing that can be done in the line of goodwill when Americans have guns with even the implied idea that those guns might be directed against other Americans. But I would think that some of the bills that have been suggested, such as not carrying a loaded weapon on a city street or in town, this might certainly be a good one. There is absolutely no reason why out on the street today civilians should be carrying a loaded weapon.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank those who are responsible for inviting me here today. And I want to thank Mickey Mouse Ronald Reagan, Donald Duck Rafferty, and Big Mama Unruh for making it possible. I'm pleased to be here in the pig pen of Sacramento today. This is the pig pen where the racists and the oppressors plot their genocide and their crimes against the people. Someone told me that when Ronald Reagan entered the Capitol here, they changed the name of the Capitol to the Ferry Building. I think that's very appropriate. I want to congratulate whoever that was that came up with that thought. And I have a special little word for Ronald Reagan in the morning. Fuck you, Ronnie baby. I believe that Ronald Reagan is a punk, a sissy, and a coward, and I challenge him to a duel. I challenge the punk to a duel to the death, and he can choose his own weapons. Could be a gun, a knife, or a marshmallow, and I'll beat him to death with a marshmallow. You know, I lived in this area for a number of years. Folsom Prison is about 20 miles from here, I understand. And I had occasion, I had reason to keep my eye on what was going on in Sacramento. The prison system, the adult authority, had this headquarters here in Sacramento, appropriately here in the pig pen. I know that my parole officer has his comrades here today, his agents here. Same thing for Ronald Reagan, same thing for the adult authority, the same thing for all the wardens of all the prisons, all the pigs, the hogs who patrol the prisons, fuck you. You dig it? I feel it's necessary to say that. It's necessary to say that.
Belongs to us, to the students, the faculty, and the people. This university is not the property of Governor Reagan and the other regents.
Didn't wait for his reaction. His reaction has been given in numerous press conferences and in statements that the governor's office has been making over the past 10 days. We're not interested in what Ronald Reagan thinks individually. We consider him a two-bit Hollywood actor, and that's the way we're going to treat him.
And why did you go in and read the demands to him?
Because unfortunately this two-bit Hollywood actor happens to run this state and happens to be responsible for what's happening in Berkeley and elsewhere in this state. We read those demands as basically ultimatums. They are non-negotiable demands. Our struggle around the park continues until those demands are met in full.
Well, yes, I think it's a shame, because it isn't the way to solve anything. Just to have a rally and come all the way to Sacramento to stand here and talk to each other, which is what they did. They made it very plain they didn't want any information from us. I was told, I wasn't told personally, my people were told. They came in here and made it very clear that they did not want me to come out, so they weren't here to hear from apparently anyone in government. So they came a long way to hear the people they could have heard back home.
We're not going to take your jobs. We don't want your jobs.
How can people historically denied access to power?
But what bothers me is what people are going to say the Bakke case, if it prevails and wins, means. They're going to say what it means is you can have affirmative action, you can say wonderful things, you can promise to do things, but you can't do anything about it. And God knows we've spent a long time in this country promising to do good things, and when the time comes that you actually start to do something about it, folks get mad. We won't go back to Jim Crow. We won't go back to Jim Crow.